Use a prime lens, don't use autofocus, don't go below f3.5. That's what most people on YouTube tells you about shooting a cinematic B-roll video. Not me. What's up YouTube, GAFFER here with another exciting tutorial, and today's video I'm going to share 5 tips for creating cinematic food film, from how I lit it to how I shot it. Now I've been fascinated with the B-roll style food videos flooding the tube lately. The one thing I noticed was most all of them are shot on primes, and they all say that you shouldn't use autofocus. Furthermore, they say you should stick to f3.5 as anything below that becomes too shallow. Well, I tried something completely different. If you watched my last video about how to shoot a Sony launch film, you'll remember that I raved about using mostly one lens, the 24-70mm f2.8G master. So with this video, I took it upon myself to try a completely different project with the same lens, but this time on the Sony A7c, shooting everything at f2.8. I've become so used to the amazing performance of the Sony A7S III and the FX3 that shooting on the A7C felt like taking a few steps backward. But I wanted to challenge myself, and the first step to getting better performance is with lighting. So here's tip number 1. Double diffuse. With lighting, I opted for a strong key light from the side with double diffusion. This involves shooting through 2 layers of diffusion, in this case a parabolic softbox through a scrim gem. The scrim enlarges the light even more, giving you softer shadows and an extra layer of diffusion, a more pleasant roll-off. To avoid light spill, I used 2 large flags to keep the background dark. If you don't have a scrim gem or flags, you shouldn't let that stop you. A simple white bedsheet and a dark blanket can also give you the same result. For fill light, I used a 60-watt LED with a softbox and a grid, but I also needed to flag it to preserve the mood. For the background and the backlight from the top, I opted for 2 Nanlite Pavo tubes. I've been fascinated with tube lights lately, not because of how they can decorate the background, but because they make for awesome practicals, and you can even use it as a key light, like in this example, where we grilled the chicken. Working with fire, it was important to motivate the flames with an extra light, and because the flames are warm and yellow, I had to use a light to match it. Dialing in the right color on the Nanlite Pavo tube is easy, and by shooting through a scrim, I was able to get a really soft light. To add some extra mood, I used a hazer, which creates depth and takes away some of the digital look. Tip number 2. Use a zoom lens. Contrary to popular opinion, using a zoom has many benefits. In this case, it was a lifesaver when doing my in-camera transitions. Most of these shots require you to work with the foreground to either dip down into it or reveal from it. The kitchen I shot in had an extra counter that was often in the way, and if I tried to shoot this on a fixed 35mm or a 24mm, I'd have a hard time doing these shots. But zooming into 50mm or 70mm gave me the freedom to dip behind the counter and still get the correct frame. An added benefit to using a zoom lens means you're able to do dynamic shots like this one, where I used the zoom with my movement. Before I carry on, if you're enjoying this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you have questions, ask away and I'll do my best to answer it. I've got some really cool videos planned for the channel, and your support plays a big part in all of it. Tip number 3. How to get better tracking shots. Nailing your tracking shots can be challenging, and a simple trick I use to get more accurate movements is to start the movement before the action by the talent. This will make your handout shots more stable and give you a better chance of getting an accurate track. In this scene, you can see how I'm starting my movement just a brief moment before the action by the chef. This gives me some time to ease into the speed of the rolling onion. The same applies to the flipping of the roti. I asked the chef to flip it continuously, but to do it with consistent timing. So by the third or fourth time, I'm actually able to pick up the rhythm in a movement. Tip number 4, you can use autofocus. The main reason people advised against autofocus is because of the potential for hunting and missing focus, and I get that. In essence, they're not wrong, but I found great success in this video by using autofocus. Using the spot focus works the best here, and the goal is to put the square in a place on your screen where you know it will organically shift focus to as you move the camera onto the next subject or tracking the same subject. It's important to play around with focus, transition speed and sensitivity, as this can play a role in how effective the focus will be, but it also depends on your frame rate. In this video, I shot everything at 100 frames per second, and with slow motion, it's better to have a fast transition speed with a fast sensitivity. Tip number 5, curate your color theme. When planning your video, it's important to consider the color you use and how it will translate in the overall video. When I say color, I'm talking about the color of your lights, to the color of your talent's clothes, to the color of the ingredients. In this video, I opted for a maroon, orange and yellow tone. From the chef's apron to the colorful ingredients, these colors all play a role in creating a feel of consistency in the video. In this example, you can see how there's a contrast between the lights and the ingredients, blending in with the apron. Small things like this will add to the overall flow of your film and gives it that professional edge. There's still lots that can be said about a shoot like this, but I feel like the most important takeout here is that the lighting and color theme makes a big difference, and shooting with the zoom lens shouldn't be frowned upon. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes with me. If you have any more questions, drop me a comment or let me know about any future videos you'd like to see on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.